Hey guys, Nick Hewitt here. I'm going to pick up where I left off with my other Jquery video. The other one, if you remember correctly, I created this, which is a pretty simple tab switcher. You can see this on like newegg.com and stuff for their specifications and customer reviews and stuff. You see this quite often where you're trying to display a large amount of information, but you don't want to take up a whole lot of page. So I wanted to take a little bit further and create something like this, which shows the more powerful features of jQuery and the animations that you can add to your page. So if I click on one of these, you'll see that the tab grows, so that way it sticks out a little bit more, and the div drops down. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to close this and leave my tabs 2 open and bring up Eclipse. So switch back over to my other view. So this is the one that I was showing you where with all three just display. They just switch back and forth rather than have the animation. This is what we created last time. Oh, I forgot this variable. I had recreated the video before and I ran into a problem. Let me double check. Yep. So I had to start over. So I'll basically get started really quick. And if you see me with the mouse going away, I have another screen over here that pulls up, that has a cheat sheet open. So under tabs LI, I'm going to add position relative, and this is important, and height 20 pixels. And this will just allow us to modify the height of our tabs if we wanted to. The next thing I'm going to do is go down here and add description div and select the first child. This is the first item in our group here, and I'm going to set the background color to red, FF0000. And the last one, and do last child, and these are pseudo selectors, background, and do £0000FF. And if I refresh the page now, computer's kind of slow right now, you'll see that my tabs are actually different colors now, which is just like we had in the other video. I'm going to try and get through this as quick as I can because I want to try and keep this under 10 minutes for the video. Although now YouTube allows you to do 15 minutes, so maybe it will be a little bit longer. But I'm just going to double check all of my stuff. So one thing I didn't forget in this description div here is to add position relative, display block, and these are all important things, and top 0 pixels. I have my height, my width, color, and everything else looks right. So I'm going to save that, and what this does is it sets it so that way it's based on whatever its parent item is, displays it as a block, and it's going to get pushed up right up to the top of that. So those pieces are important. So I'm just going to recreate what these are here into my own function. So I'm going to create a close tabs function, and what this is going to do, let me go up into my cheat sheet here, var $, and I'm just going to create a variable for my target equals, and I'm going to select my active class. And what this is doing is anything that has a class of active, it's going to select that. And the next thing I'm going to do is select my divs inside of my description ID. Whoops, spelled that backwards. And I'm going to slide those up. And this is one of those things where you have an animation and it's a built-in one that jQuery has. And there's multiple ones that you can use. Next thing is target. So I'm using my target.animate. And now I'm just passing in an array of CSS properties that I want to animate. I'm just going to pass in my target dot outer height. So what the actual height of the object is minus my $sign razor, and this or raise, and this is going to make more sense once I create that variable. Top 0. And notice I'm not using 0 pixels. 0 is how jQuery is set up. It doesn't use a pixel or a type designator. So just enter in numeric values. And I'm just going to set the speed as fast. And these are millisecond increments, so you can actually do 1,000 for 1 second and so on and so forth. And the last thing I'm going to do is grab my target dot remove class active, and this is just making sure that I drop my active class from this item. Next, I'm going to create an open tab function, pass in my ID of the item that I clicked, and I'm going to select all of my description div tags and only select the one that's equal to the ID. So I have 3 tabs on the top, and I have 3 divs that correspond to those tabs. Whatever list or tab on the top I click, that corresponding div item is going to get selected, which is what this is. And I'm going to do slide down fast. Oh no, I did normal. And then do $sign, select everything in my tabs, everything that's an li, dot equal to ID, dot add class active. And the order of these is important, because if I were to try and I'm just going to create this before I explain any further, so that way you don't get confused. $sign active. And those of you, if I sound tired or run down, I've been working quite a bit, and I'm actually working while I make this video. I'm waiting for files to upload, but it looks like it's going to take something like 89 hours for this to upload, so I'm going to continue with this tutorial. Target.animate. Again, I'm passing in a height property. Target.outer height, and I'm going to add the razor. Oops, forgot to add my $sign in. And I'm just creating variables. You could actually just put in a normal number here. So if I wanted to raise it by 10 pixels, I'd just put in 10 or 20, and that's how that works. And then I'm actually going to do raise minus, times a -1, and what this does is it turns whatever variable or number I pass in into a negative number. And then I'm going to do fast for slide up. Alright, so again, just going over this, what the animate is. Animating my height and my top attributes, setting my target outer height plus whatever the razor is, which I have not created yet. And then I'm doing the same thing. I'm setting the top to whatever my raise is as a negative number. And that's it for my open tab. Now I just got to take all of this and just replace it with my functions. So that should work correctly. Just create my variable raise, which I have been talking about for a while, and I'm just going to set it to 10. And again, I'm just using a variable here, so that way I don't have to go and change 10 in multiple places. I can just do it once here. So if I save this, go back over to Firefox and refresh. My computer is slow today. It kind of works correctly. The only thing that I can think of, which I'm going to look into this in a second, is my CSS is wrong for this spacing here. So I'm going to look into that. But the last thing that I want to do is whenever the page loads, I want it to automatically select the first item and set it as open. So if $, if the number of active classes, so length, is less than or equal to 0, do this. Open tab, and this is why I like creating functions here. So now if I switch back over to this, refresh, it's automatically going to set the first tab to open, and I can change it to 1 or 2, so 0, 1, 2, the same way as indexes work in an array. I can modify that. But I'm going to check into that CSS error and I'm going to come back to the video, so hold on a second. Alright, I figured out what the problem was. I had forgotten to add a couple things into my CSS. Like the tabs here, I need to add position relative and give this a height of some pixels. The next thing I need to do is go down to my description and give it a position of relative and display of block, and then change this each div to, instead of relative, set it to absolute. And if I save it and refresh this, it should work correctly, as it does. So now each of you can use this on your website as you want to, as you see fit. You can modify it and change it as you want. There's a couple of cool things that you can do with jQuery, which hopefully I'll do some videos once I have a little more energy and I'm feeling a little bit better. But hopefully you found this video informative and you can see the power behind jQuery and what you can use it for in web applications.